You're listening to the best local sports show. Boots, Bats and Balls on Six Towns Radio.
Dean Glover, back at the club after a 3-year break. Can you just tell us what you've been up to?
Well, again, having come out of the game, it was knowing which way to go. Initially, I kept involved with friends through scouting and that, and staying in football that way, which was a nice change, because again, you get to watch games and analysing teams, whether you're doing a match report or a play report, and hopefully putting names forward for the clubs that I work for as to whether they'd be good for them at the time. And that was a different and enjoyable part of the game that was nice. Unfortunately, it was a part-time situation, but therefore during the week it was finding, where do I go? Having played football for 20 odd years and been involved in for over 30 years, it's what does Dean Glover do next? And it was hard, for the first initial 6-7 months. It was finding what really I had interest in, and apart from football there wasn't a lot. So again, I just set up my own little maintenance business and carried on from there. Yeah,
the economic climate as well when you were looking for work wasn't great either.
No, that's right. Thankfully, it did get easier as after that first year, and again, thankfully, through different personnel, word of mouth got about that they wanted different jobs doing, and thankfully I could do that, and I was just pleased that it sort of took off. And so in a way, with the way things are at the moment, I've sort of left my lads to sort of take that on board, that if they can carry it on, and hopefully my football pro side of it can take off even more so.
Yeah, you were linked with a couple of management jobs, obviously. You would be in Stafford Range job was one of them. So, because you've always been a footballer or, worked in football, it's hard to do something else, isn't it?
Very much so, especially when you've got no interest in anything else, and that's how I was, hand on heart. As a kid coming into the football game, we were, at the time, again, set up, college work for 2 years, but I wasn't interested in that. It was just football. So again, the only regret I do have is I wish I'd have learned something at a younger age, and that's what I can instil into the lads now. Yeah. If it doesn't work out in football, make sure you've got something else that you can take interest in. Football will always be there, even on a part-time issue if that's the case. But it's when you look further down the line and you get older, as I came out of the game at 45, it's a shock, a massive shock.
I bet it is, and like I say, you've got Danny, who of course played with you at Port Vale. You've got that knowledge and experience to tell him, where he can go and what he's doing. Where is he at the moment?
Well, again, he's just signed for Worcester again this year, having done well with Nuneaton last year. He's gone back to Worcester, and things are looking good. He's been scoring the goals for the last 2 years, so which was pleasing. So hopefully, he'll get a little break sooner rather than later.
Just briefly explain what the role you've been offered in the academy is.
Well, again, it's just working with Mick. We both work together, bringing the scholars through and working with them day in, day out, and then overseeing the criteria for the younger boys coming through from the under 8s up to 16. So again, it's quite a busy job really, because I say we've got to make sure things are put in place for the 8s to 16s, and then make sure we can hopefully bring some pros on in the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's the aim, isn't it? You've been working with Mickey Eady and Sevi, and there's a couple of people you do know quite well on the backroom staff still. Mark Ruse here, Gaz Owen, who you signed as he works with the reserve team, doesn't he? So there's a couple of faces still around here,
Yeah, it's nice. I'm not coming in blind, and thankfully I do know people here already, so it does make that job a little bit easier. But as I say, having worked, I was in charge when Sevi came on board, with the Centre of Excellence before, and Mick was already in with the lads coaching in the Centre of Excellence, so I do know them. So hopefully now we build up a relationship where we can bounce off one another and bring a few lads through.
Yeah, I've always looked at Port Vale, especially in recent years, as a bit of a soap opera, and you're going to be one of the recurring characters then, aren't you?
One that keeps coming back now. It's they ain't killed me off yet, as they say. But no, it's nice. But it is a good club.
Yeah.
If you've been within the club and you've worked here for a few years, it is, it's a nice little club to get involved with, and you just hope and one day we can go further forward than, probably back to when I was playing here, when we got to our best years, and the club is geared up for that. As you can see, the facilities itself is better than most, so we just need now a bit of luck to go forward.
Yeah, any Vale fan over the age of 20, 25 now will have that image of you holding the Autoglass trophy up as one of their, big moments as a Vale fan. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, we were lucky that year, because I say we went to, Wembley 3 times in 2 seasons, didn't we? So, no, it'd be nice if we can get back to them kind of days, because again, when we were getting crowds of 8,000 and 9,000, near on 10 on occasions, it was good, and especially when we had the cup runs as well. We can try and generate more cash, for the club that way. Brilliant. But if we can, as Mickey has proved over the time he's been here, he's capable of getting in that mix at the top. So if we can get the club in the right direction, and no doubt the football will follow that.
You've had Port Vale in your blood for like 18 years, obviously 3 years ago. Did you carry on looking how they were doing when you left the club?
Yeah, like I said, I always kept in touch with Mark. We spoke once, twice a week, and you're always looking at the results, obviously, and I was never one for reading papers, even as a player.
Yeah.
So it was not as if I kept in touch that way, but you speak to different people and you keep in touch with people, so you find out more or less what's going on that way.
Do you think the times are changing now for Port Vale? Do you think they're actually going to get a bit of luck?
We hope so. If we can just find out what's definitely going to happen, everybody then can plan and look forward to a successful year, really.
Okay, thanks Steve for that.